Hey guys, this is Cree. Welcome to the right side of 50. Um, Forgive me, I'm still under the weather. I was just kind of walking down the memory path here over the weekend, and I was thinking about the things that I wish I had did earlier in age versus, you know, now, and how I've been impacted because I didn't do things another way. So let's just get into it real quick. I'm not going to be on here long because I don't feel well. Um, Most importantly for women, and at this day and age, the rule doesn't change. My dynamic normally is to focus on women over 40, but the dynamic is for all women. So you start out, you're as a teenager, you're going into your early young adult lives, and you have to make that choice, of course. Are you going to college, or are you not? Are you going to just go straight for, a great job that doesn't require a degree? What are you going to do? So I was thinking back, not so much on, oh, I wish I had completed college and stuff like that, because I don't have the regrets right now, knowing how the world is working at this time, 2025. Now, at one time I did wish that I had completed my degree, so that I, would have maybe a few more options. But in today's day, I don't know, that's not even necessarily so relevant. Because there are other options and ways that we try to make money. And I'm working on that. I told you guys I am. Always trying to constantly improve my situation and improve me overall. So I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I don't come out here and I'm trying. My vulnerability is on the line here, and I'm not really good with that. I mean, as far as you know, just outwards. So I tend to generalize things because a lot of what I speak on affects a lot of people, a lot of women, especially men too, but especially women. So a lot of these experiences are things that are happening with some of my closest family, my friends, um, or me, or even me. So we think about the relationships we've had in life, or what we're going through now. And I laughed one day, and I was telling my one of my girlfriends. I said I feel like I was smarter years ago when I was younger than what I am now, or have been in the last 10, 12 years. And I said there was a time when I seen the red flags, I could pretty much just cut it off. And then that was just it. And could have been just fear, because whatever it was, I just wasn't feeling right about something. So that may have been, and I'm talking relationships, by the way. So looking back, I know as far as women are concerned, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me, women, we tend to choose our mates or partners based on our feelings, based on our emotions, based on our heart, rather than incorporating our brain. Let your brain figure. Because I hear a lot of women say they didn't know something, or I didn't know he was this, or I didn't know that. I feel when I hear that, especially depending on what the situation is, a lot of times it's fear that falls into denial. You find yourself being in denial of something because you don't want to face facts. You don't want to face the realization of what it really is, or you're scared you're going to lose something that isn't even worth holding on to. So this kind of brings me back, and I think about these things. What attracted you to your partner when you had them, or your husband, whatever? What attracted you to them, and what made you decide to say, this person's for me? This is my person. I'm going to deal with, this is what I'm going to do. So the way we choose, the way we do things, you always pray that you find that person right away and you can be with them for the rest of the time. Not have to go through the dating scene for years or whatever, or, have to start all over every 10 years or every 5 years. The phrase, shit or get off the pot, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. If you're not going to make moves and you're not going to advance in the relationship, doesn't have to necessarily be marriage. If you're just not going to advance, then stop wasting people's time. Shit or get off the pot already. That's what they used to say. Figure it out. It doesn't take 5, 8, 10, 12 years to get to know somebody, and then now you're deciding to make plans. Okay? You guys as a partnership should be trying to make plans right away before you even decide to be in something solid and serious. You should be discussing. When you're younger, we tend to slide past a lot of that. Just like they speak on women with marriage. A lot of women like the thought of the wedding. They like the thought of the idea. They like the thought of the ring, honeymoon, but they don't think things through. They don't think it through all the way out. What is this relationship going to be like in, 10 years, 20 years? There's more to decide other than having children. It's a lot to decide there. So I find myself, when I think about the relationships I've been in, and I can reflect back to my younger self to say, yeah, I think you were in that relationship too long. You did that. You were in there too long because the signs were there. My problem is patience. People say that's a great character to have. You know what? It's also a bad character to have. You give somebody all the patience in the world, they'll never land the plane. If you give them all of the air, all the wings they need, they'll never land. You have to force it. And when I say force it, I mean force it through you, to go from you to let them know up front that you mean business. This is what you're looking forward to. This is your future. If you diddle daddle and just kind of let them do their own thing, they'll never land it. This is specific for women. Men are not good with that type of commitment. And if you don't sit there and tie the hands, they're not going to take you serious. They're going to, if you leave a loose rope, they're going to continue with the looseness. And I don't mean necessarily cheating. It's just they're not going to do anything else. You guys want to you may have it in your mind to have a business and run it together. He'll say it just to make you feel better so that you can get off his back for the moment. But in reality, he's not ready. Maybe he's not mature enough. Most men don't tend to mature anyway until they get well into their 30s. I'd say early 40s. And even then, they're not always mature. So here you are, a lot of women, you find yourself years and years into something. And you say, well, okay, well, we've been married such and such. Well, I'm not going to talk about the marriage or this or that. What I do know is people are in partnerships, relationships, marriages, and not even really in it. So you're single. You're single, you're alone, however you want to phrase it, you're alone. You're in what's supposed to be a partnership or a relationship, but really you're alone because you don't have that structure. You don't have that strong partner. You don't have that person that is going to, push you when you need to be pushed And if you push them, they don't appreciate it because really they had no intentions on doing it. So now you feel like you've wasted time. Now it's time for you to think yourself through the process. Should I go or should I stay? The older you get, I think the easier it becomes to make those decisions, because now you don't really have any patience. You're just like, why? What's the point? What's the purpose? How do you suit me? What is your purpose? That's my favorite phrase. What is your purpose? Because I know what my purpose is, and I've always known what I brought to a relationship. I always knew what I was bringing to the table. What are you bringing? I need to know. And I'm not talking about $30 versus $300. I'm talking about everything. Are you emotionally there for me? Are you mentally there for me? Physically, sure. Are you physically there for me? We have to meet all points. You can't have one and not the others. We have to meet all the way around. Unless physical is the only one that's a debatable thing, because there may be some issues. There may be a handicap or something going on. I don't mean like that. When I say physical, I mean you show up. You come home, I come home, we connect. Okay? You don't have to lay up under your partner. Okay? I don't care about all that. We don't have to lay up under each other like we're 19. We're not school children. Okay? So I don't mean that. Women, we've always liked attention. I don't care how old you are, you still like attention, and you still like to have a feeling of knowing, of security. Okay? So what do they say? Men are protectors and providers. That's what they should be. But yeah, so for young women, I just always, I worry, because in this day and age, women do things different. They do things a lot different than, I don't know. A lot of these women are so lost today. I can't even really speak for them. I can understand some of why they're lost. Okay. They're going about a lot of things all wrong. And I'm not talking about women who just make everyday mistakes, because mistakes, you learn from those, or you're supposed to. I'm talking about women who are out here on the understanding that this is a real market and they are for sale. Women who give the most precious thing. You have the most, this is something we know. It's not to be played with. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to learn the hard way. But I mean, to the point to, when we're talking about women who are for the streets, that's a no-no. That's always been a no-no. But, the social media, they have social media, the music industry, whatever the case, they have these young folks so confused, and they have them in such a space that, the worry that we have for the young generation is, don't wake up at 40, 50, 60 years old and you're wondering, what was it all about? What was it all for? You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. No one's saying that you have to get married at 22. No, because I honestly believe marriage is not for everybody. The thing is just to be more mindful of how you choose your relationships. We tend to do things with our heart and not with our brain. Your heart is just the connection. That's just something about them. But you have to feel that energy. Have to have the right energy. You have to know what you are attracting. What are you attracting? Who are you attracting? Is their energy positive to where you can see yourself sharing a space with this person? Is this somebody that can develop into something? Someone that will help you grow and you help them grow? If they're not, leave them where they're at. Do not let the aesthetics of that person be the thing or things to pull you into the relationship, because I promise you, it's not going to go anywhere. If you got to sit here in 5 years and you're still in the same space, this is what I'm talking about. We can talk about marriage too, but I can't talk a lot on marriage. I have never been married. I can talk on long-term relationships, okay? I can't talk on marriage. I always felt like I was in a marriage with a couple of my relationships, but the actual sanctity of marriage, we actually never stepped over to do. It came up more than once, but it wasn't anything I was forced. I think it was kind of more me than anything, but that was because of the way I chose, who I chose. So this is the thing that I have issues with young women, and I want them to learn. I want them to learn before it's too late. You got the older women around you, and I'm not going to believe you don't. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to their advice. Listen to what they tell you they've gone through. You're going to find yourself wasting 20, 30 unnecessary years running behind the wrong men. Okay? And I'm talking about the women who even, they mean well. They want love. They want a relationship, but what you want is not necessarily what he wants. So you have to evaluate everything in a whole. So anyway, that's my rant for the day. Just a bit, just thinking about things from here on out, and just, knowing what choices that I have to make. So anyway, you guys, be good. I'll check back in with you. Have a great day.